Today we are going to discuss about the structure of DNA double helix. अगर आपको ये मेरी वीडियो या ये ट्यूटोरियल पसंद आता है तो आप इसको लाइक करें और इसको शेयर भी करें ताकि दूसरे लोगों को भी इससे सीखने को मिले, और मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें। और अगर आप चाहते हैं कि मैं कोई ऐसा टॉपिक पढ़ाऊँ जो आप पढ़ना चाहते हैं या आप जिसको समझना चाहते हैं तो मुझे कमेंट बॉक्स में ज़रूर से बताएं। Let us start with the structure of DNA double helix. First of all, we'll see who were the scientists who contributed for this double helical structure of DNA. Initially, one female scientist was there whose name was Rosalind Franklin. She worked on X-ray crystallograph. That means she was studying like how X-rays were helping to know about the molecular structure or the crystal structure of a DNA or of any other atom or molecule. So she was working upon this, and she what she did, she passed the X-rays from the DNA double helical structure also. She saw this, and when she was doing so, she found that on passing the X-rays from the DNA's structure, she observed that some black dotted helical structures were seen, and like that she contributed to the DNA double helical structure, and she said that the DNA is a double helical structure. But she died when she was at the age of 32. She died in 1958. So later on, her work was not published, but later on her colleagues, Wilkins, he worked upon this, and finally two famous scientists, that is Watson and Crick, they worked upon all these things related to DNA, especially the structure of the DNA. So today we will see what did Watson and Crick say about the double helical structure of DNA when they studied this helical structure in detail. So there are some topics that they noticed. There are some, we can say there are some features that they notice in the double helical structure of the DNA. The first is they found that the DNA helix is the DNA helical structure is anti-parallel and complementary. So let us understand this, why this DNA is anti-parallel and complementary. Like suppose this is DNA, they said that this is anti-parallel. We all know that. I told you in the previous lecture also, when we saw that the structure of the sugar, phosphate and the nitrogenous bases, and finally I told you how they are combined together to form a DNA helical structure. So I told you that it runs in 3' to 5', one helical, and second helical, other helical runs in 5' to 3'. So this is although they are arranged parallelly, but they are working in opposite direction. Like and why this anti-parallel nature of the DNA is necessary. This is the anti-parallel nature of the DNA, or the helical of the DNA is necessary to maintain the stability. Because of this anti-parallel nature, the nitrogenous bases come closer to each other, which make DNA more stable. And secondly, they said that the DNA helical is complementary to each other, that is because of the nitrogenous bases. Because I told you the nitrogenous bases like purine or adenine will always connect with the T. So this is complementary, that A will always connect with T and G will always connect with C. So this is the complementary base pairing of the DNA double helical structure. Secondly, they said that about the nucleotide, spacing of nucleotide. They say that the nitrogenous bases or the nucleotides in the double helical structure of the DNA, they are arranged at some distance, at some specific distance with each other. Like suppose here at this helix it is having A, or here it is having G. So the distance between these two vertically will be 3.4 Armstrong. 3.4 Armstrong. So this is like this. They arranged they took out the spacing of nucleotides. That they said that the nucleotides are arranged vertically at the space of 3.5 Armstrong. Then they said, when they were studying this, they said that there are some forces which are stabilizing this double helical structure of the DNA, and these forces are, they call them stabilizing interactions. And these interactions are of two types, that is hydrogen bonding, and these interactions are very, very important to impart the stability to DNA. Hydrogen bonding, and the next one is base stacking interactions. So hydrogen base bonding is a major stabilizing interaction of the DNA double helical structure. Majorly this hydrogen bonding is found between, as we saw here, between the nitrogenous bases. So this hydrogen bonding is helping the DNA double helical structure to form a stable structure. But there are some more interactions which are known as base stacking interactions. When these interactions are taking place, what happens when DNA double helical structures start making like coil upon each other, they start twisting. So what happens, जो ये nitrogenous bases होते हैं, they start taking counter rotation. Counter rotation means like this, एक ऊपर की तरफ जाएगा, एक नीचे की तरफ आएगा. So this is known as काउंटर रोटेशन. जब वो ट्विस्ट लेना चाहते हैं डीएनए के हेलिकल्स, देन दे स्टार्ट डूइंग काउंटर रोटेशन, और उस काउंटर रोटेशन की वजह से कुछ इंट्रैक्शंस उन डीएनए हेलिकल्स के बीच में डेवलप होती हैं, और जो इंट्रैक्शंस, इन इंट्रैक्शंस के नाम हैं, एक तो है वॉन डर वाल इंट्रैक्शंस, and the other one is hydrophobic interaction. So these van der Waal interactions, why these interactions are developing, क्योंकि जब वो ट्विस्ट लेना चाह रहा है, काउंटर रोटेशन हो रही है बिटवीन द नाइट्रोजनस बेसिस, सो उसको स्टेबल, उसके जो स्ट्रक्चर है डीएनए के डबल हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर जो है, उसको स्टेबल होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड जब ये ट्विस्टिंग होगी तो एंट्रोपी बढ़ेगी, डिसऑर्डरनेस बढ़ेगा, तो इसीलिए उसको स्टेबल करने के लिए इंट्रैक्शंस ये डेवलप होती हैं. वॉन डर वाल फोर्सेस होती क्या है? These are the forces which or interactions which are developed between two atoms. Like suppose These are two atoms. So how these interactions take place, van der Waal ones? It takes place between the electron cloud of one atom and proton or nucleus of other atom. We always know that the interactions take place between the opposite ions. So here the van der Waal interactions are taking place between these. So like this, they are because they are taking rotation, entropy is increasing, it needs to be stabilized. So उसके वजह से van der Waal interactions develop होती हैं. और साथ में because वो twisting जब लेने वाला होता है तो कुछ वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स भी बाहर निकलते हैं, जिसकी वजह से एक इंटरेक्शन डेवलप होती है जिसको हम बोलते हैं हाइड्रोफोबिक इंटरेक्शंस. सो दीज इंटरेक्शंस आर डेवलपिंग, चाहे जो भी स्टैकिंग इंटरेक्शंस है, दे आर डेवलपिंग टू बेसिकली टू स्टेबलाइज द डबल हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ डीएनए. और उसके बाद जो फोर्थ इन्होंने बोला Watson and Crick ने, they said that they are negatively charged phosphodiester bond, and we have already discussed this also in our previous class. इसको आज हम और थोड़ा सा डिटेल में समझेंगे. I told you while describing the basic structure of the DNA molecule that the sugar and phosphate bond phosphates are making the backbone of the DNA. यही जो उसकी आउटर वॉल्स हैं, यहाँ पर फॉस्फेट्स एंड शुगर अरेंज हैं. एंड वाई दैट इज़ वाई बिकॉज द फॉस्फेट इज़ फाउंड टूवर्ड्स द आउटर साइड. और हमने फॉस्फेट का स्ट्रक्चर देखा था, वहाँ पे हमने देखा था पी जो है वो ओ से के साथ अपने वैलेंसी वो कंप्लीट करता है. तो ओ पे नेगेटिव चार्ज है ऑक्सीजन पे, और वो जब आउटसाइड बाहर की तरफ है डीएनए डबल हेलिकल के, दैट मीन्स दैट इज़ प्रोवाइडिंग द नेगेटिव चार्ज टू डीएनए. लेकिन इसका एक पर्पस है, वाई दिस नेगेटिव चार्ज इज़ आउटसाइड ऑफ द डीएनए, बिकॉज समटाइम्स कुछ ऐसे एंजाइम्स होते हैं या कुछ रेडिएशंस होती हैं जो डीएनए को हार्म पहुंचा सकते हैं, उसको क्लीव कर सकते हैं. तो उससे प्रोटेक्शन के लिए ये जो डीएनए है दैट इज़ नेगेटिवली चार्ज टुवर्ड्स आउटसाइड. व्हाट हैपन्स इज दिस नेगेटिवली चार्ज्ड डीएनए टुवर्ड्स आउटसाइड गेट joined with the positively charged proteins, which are these positively charged proteins are histones in case of eukaryotes and protamines in case of prokaryotes. So they both we can say they make a protection cover for the DNA, ताकि अगर DNA के पास कोई if some nucleases जो डीएनए को ब्रेक कर सकते हैं, और सम आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशंस इफ दे आर ट्राइंग टू अटैक द डीएनए, they will not be able to do so. Because of this bond between the positively charged proteins and negatively charged DNA outer portion that is made up of phosphate. Next is propeller twist. The other feature of the DNA double helical structure is propeller twist. What does it mean? Propeller twist means DNA के जो हेलिकल्स हैं दोनों, वो अपने आप को इस तरह से दे want to stable the whole structure and to occupy their preferred geometrical arrangement and to maximize the stacking interaction, these helicals get twisted. इससे पहले हमने बेस इंट्रैक्शंस में बोला था कि जो नाइट्रोजिनस बेसिस हैं दे आर डूइंग काउंटर रोटेशन. वो काउंटर रोटेशन क्यों करते हैं? बिकॉज दे वांटेड टू मेक अ ट्विस्ट. नाउ दिस इज द ट्विस्ट, प्रोपेलर ट्विस्ट. काउंटर रोटेशन के बाद जो हेलिक्स हैं वो ट्विस्ट बनाएंगी. ट्विस्ट मीन्स लाइक दिस. ये यहाँ से यहाँ तक एक ट्विस्ट है. ये ट्विस्ट कब बने, क्यों बनता है? ताकि जो डीएनए डबल हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर है वो एक प्रेफर्ड ज्योमेट्री अपनी अरेंज कर सके एंड उसमें जो एंड द बेस स्टैकिंग इंटरेक्शन दे ऑल्सो गेट मैक्सिमाइज, और ताकि वो अपने आप को स्टेबल कर सके. द मेन पर्सन फॉर दिस ट्विस्ट एंड ऑल इज टू स्टेबलाइज इट सेल्फ. देन नेक्स्ट इज hyperchromatic effect. Also, Watson and Crick studied that DNA double helical structure has hyperchromatic effect. What is this hyperchromatic effect? Means something related to light, which is very means we can say it is more than the normal value. So hyperchromatic effect it is the capacity of DNA to absorb UV radiations at 260 nm wavelength upon melting. जब DNA मेल्ट करता है तो उसके जो हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स होंगे, जो नाइट्रोजनस बेसिस के बीच में जो बॉन्ड्स है, दोज वर हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स, दे स्टार्ट ब्रेकिंग एंड दैट टाइम इट स्टार्ट absorbing more UV radiations. That effect is known as hyperchromatic effect. Then next is negatively supercoiled. They said that the DNA double helical structure is negatively supercoiled. What is negatively supercoiled? That means something which is not supercoiled exactly. Like suppose there are two types of double helical DNA. And one is this. We can clearly make out from the picture that this one is something very tightly coiled and this one is little bit loose. So this one which is highly coiled, it is known as positively supercoiled. And this one which is little bit you can say it is little bit loose than this one. So this one is negatively supercoiled, although it is coiled but not that much coiled. So that's why it is called negatively supercoiled. And what happens जब ये negatively when the DNA is in the state of negatively supercoiled or negative supercoiled, it is known as the relaxed DNA or the stable DNA. और इस टाइम दिस इज़ द बेस्ट टाइम जब वहाँ पर डीएनए में रेप्लिकेशन स्टार्ट हो सकता है. एंड इट वॉज सीन बाय देम दैट एक कॉइल में, एक ट्विस्ट में दे ऑब्जर्व दैट नॉर्मली 10 बेस पेयर्स होते हैं और लेटर ऑन दे से सेड कि देयर there may be 10.5 base pair also. If so, suppose if we say कि अगर कोई ऐसा DNA है सपोज जिसमें 10 ट्विस्ट हैं, then we could say that it will have 10 into 10 base pairs in total. 10 twist, and एक twist में there is 10 there are 10 base pairs, so we can say that they have 10 into 10 base pairs in total. Like this, some questions also come. They ask you if you know the amount of nitrogenous bases per twist, you can take out the total how many base pairs are there in that complete DNA helical structure. And the last they said, एक और फीचर उन्होंने बताया था, and they said that DNA double helical or DNA is also showing one more feature which is known as base flipping. Base flipping. Base means this is related to nitrogenous bases again, adenine, guanine, thymine or cytosine. So there are some enzymes, mainly two. One is DNA methylase, and another one is that is used in sorry, so there are two enzymes. One is DNA methylase and second is photolyase. What they do and how they do, we'll see. Base flipping is the phenomena where the base or the nitrogenous base is flipped out from the inner side of the DNA to the outer surface. How it is done, and this is very helpful for the DNA, very beneficial phenomena for the DNA. So first of all, we'll see DNA methylase. What does it do? Suppose this is DNA methylase. So this particular enzyme has cavity in it so that it can grip one nitrogenous base. Suppose it is taking out adenine. From the inner surface of the DNA, and it helps in the methylation. इसके adenine के साथ ये methyl ग्रुप फंक्शन ग्रुप जो है उसको ज्वाइन कराएगा, जिसकी वजह से वी ऑल नो ऑन मिथाइलेशन नाउ DNA कैन अंडरगो द रेप्लिकेशन. So this is beneficial for the DNA. Secondly, what is photolyase? How does it work? There is a phenomena known as photoreactivation. In this phenomenon, visual light is used. It is basically used to repair the damaged DNA. When the DNA absorb excessive of UV radiations, it got damaged, so it needs to be repaired, and this reparation is done by this enzyme which is known as photolyase, and the whole phenomenon is known as photoreactivation, where visual light is used to repair that damaged DNA. How does it work? We'll see. Suppose this is a DNA. And it has undergone, or it has faced lot of UV radiations. So what happens, the bonding between base pairs breaks down, और उस ब्रेक डाउन को बैलेंस करने के लिए ये जो DNA है दैट विल फॉर्म डाइमर्स ऑफ थाइमिन, and these thymine dimers are connected to each other with the help of covalent bonds which are developed on the damage caused by the UV. So now this particular कोई भी twist जहाँ पर ये डाइमर थाइमिन डाइमर की फॉर्मेशन हुई है, सपोज दिस वन इज दैट पर्टिकुलर ट्विस्ट वेयर वी saw the dimer formation, तो वहाँ पे एक बल्क सा फॉर्म हो जाएगा बिकॉज ऑफ द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दिस डाइमर. सो दिस डाइमर विल गेट रिपेयर्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ normal visual light, and DNA will be repaired. So this is known as बेस फ्लिपिंग. ये पहले उस बेस को जो विच इज़ नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, विच इज़ फॉर्म्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एक्सेसिव यूवी रेडिएशन, उसको बाहर निकालेगा एंड देन उसको रिपेयर करेगी ये विजुअल लाइट, एंड देन फिर उसको वो नॉर्मल डीएनए उसको ठीक रिपेयर करके वहाँ पे डीएनए के डैमेज को ठीक कर देगा, एंड इट कैन देन फंक्शन नॉर्मली. और जब ये थाइमिन डाइमर बनता है देन द रेप्लिकेशन एंड ट्रांसक्रिप्शन बोथ ऑफ द प्रोसेसेस कैन नॉट टेक प्लेस, सो इट नीड्स टू बी रिपेयर विच इज़ डन विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस फिनोमिनन.